Hey, today I'm hosting Caleb. Caleb is one of the young men, I think born and brought up in this area.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so Caleb is going to talk to us about life before and after and where he is right now. Actually, he represents many young men. The issues that have been going on in like North London and other parts of the country. Parents are mourning and everyone is confused. They don't know what to do. The government itself is trying this and that. But we just want to see what are the real issues that young men have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, Caleb, talk to us.
Regarding myself or regarding the issues that I've witnessed in this area?
I think you tell us about yourself first.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm 20 years old. My name is Caleb Joshua.
Wow.
I'm the youngest of 11.
Yeah.
Both my late parents were pastors. My mother passed when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And my
I
father
remember
passed,
you were this young. I
yeah,
remember you were young.
and my father passed around 1 year old. I would say the struggles that I see coming up, that I've seen coming up, anyways, is lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And wrong direction. A lot of the young boys around here don't aspire to be doctors. They don't aspire to be lawyers.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them don't have aspirations. If you ask them where they want to be 10, 15 years from now, they don't know.
They don't have a vision. So.
Yes. And the Bible says without the vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
And it's like the lack of a vision causes emptiness. It causes, like, for instance, even the estate that we're standing on now, this was somewhere where me and my friends would congregate and literally do nothing. So, like, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, we would be here from like 11, 12 until like 10 p.m.
In this place.
In this place, just hanging around.
Hanging around, doing what?
Smoking, drinking, just chilling. And that was life. That was our reality. From here to the shops, back here, from here to the park, and all those other things. So these are some of the things that when you grow up seeing a particular lifestyle with the older generation, no matter how much people advise you not to get into it, that's what you see.
That's what you see, yeah.
And that's what you're exposed to. And because you're exposed to it, it becomes
the
norm.
environment is influencing you.
It molds you almost. Yeah.
So if I may ask, do you remember how it all started? Well, we are talking 4 years ago. You used to hang around here,
Yeah.
But before the 4 years, what influenced you to do smoking, and what type of substance did you smoke? Was it cigarette, drugs?
Yeah, so smoking-wise, I used to smoke cigarettes and I used to smoke weed. That's as far as it went for me. For others, it goes further.
Yeah.
But I'd say where it started, it goes back from a young age. Obviously, like I said, I'm the youngest of 11, so some of my brothers were in that kind of lifestyle, but obviously we can't only pin it to the people you're around. The whole environment that you're in this area, the average boy would be walking around with a hood up, not knowing what he wants to do. If they're not in school, they're gonna either be like, if they're not forced to be in an educational institution, most likely they're gonna be hanging out on the estate.
On the estate,
you know. So for me, it started maybe like at a very young age. At a very, very young age, I'd say. Maybe like, thank you. Maybe like 10. Because it starts with admiring the lifestyle.
Yeah. Thinking it's the right way.
Yeah. And because we thought it was the right way, you naturally lead into it, because you, as a child, you don't see the negatives of being on the road, you see the positives. And you only begin to be exposed to the negatives once you enter in the lifestyle. So I would say,
when you're facing the consequences.
So it's like you only see the older boys with the girls and the older boys with money, and from at a young age, 10, 20 pounds is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you see the older guys with that much money, you're like...
So do we say we entered into this chaos when you were 10 years, yeah? Let me ask as well.
Yeah.
You're the youngest of the 11, yeah?
Yeah.
How old was the firstborn?
Yeah.
Are the 11 of you, all the
Yeah.
11 are still existing? They're
Yes,
still alive,
yeah,
yeah?
still alive.
So how old was the older one
Yeah.
when your parents passed on?
I believe my oldest brother was 18.
Wow.
So for me, it's even saying that, it lets me know.
So in other words, 18 was the firstborn, and behind him there are other 10 kids.
Yeah, there's another.
Of which the youngest was 3 years.
Yeah.
So you were left with no parents at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, but I think it's hard. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but I thank God for my brothers and sisters because they all played a part into raising me.
Yeah.
Whether like.
Yeah, because I remember your parents were pastors anyway.
Yes,
but
yes,
they passed
yes.
on, and your siblings, some of them were Christians anyway.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we have our uncle who's a pastor as well, so we thank God for bringing
such
him
a
as
person,
well.
yeah.
But yeah, the introduction from it was it was being brought up in the environment. It's the music you listen to. It's the movies you watch. When you hear rappers and they're talking about a particular lifestyle, it becomes this is what I want to do. You want to start wearing your hat backwards.
Yeah.
You want to start walking with a bot, and you don't realize that these things put you in a box.
Yeah.
And when you're young, you can easily walk out of that box. And the truth is, when you're old, you can walk out that box as well. But the problem is when your mind is in that box.
Yeah. You're
then
confined in
you
there.
feel like you're trapped. You know, so I wouldn't even be able to put a date on when it started.
You can't remember when
You
it
can't,
started.
because it goes too far back. You
Yeah.
know, as long as I can remember. So it's like, yeah, I think it's just a thing of your influences. What I looked up to. I wouldn't say I wanted to be a drug dealer, but I looked up to musicians who made it, and they had a story from drug dealing. So, without me knowing, I aspired to do the same thing, and that's exactly what I did.
So, are there any emotional vacuums that you remember? What's the most painful thing that you would have to face in life?
As a young man in that type of life,
Yeah. What do you think you missed out there, or what do you think? I wish I was this. Because some people, should we say that because you didn't have parents, but
Yeah.
then some people have parents, but they are still in trouble. Because
That's
the
the
people
thing.
mourning right now are parents who are mourning over their dead children. You get me? Yeah. So
I wouldn't say it's a lack of parents. I'd say it's a lack of guidance. And this isn't to say the parents aren't doing a good job. I think it's when the parents aren't connected to their kids and know their whereabouts. Like one of my friends, he does music and he's changed his life, and we grew up in the same kind of environment and we've done similar things, but the relationship he has with his mum is one that you can it's one that you can look at and think, wow, like him and his mum, they talk about everything. So when he goes out, she knows where he is, she knows who he's with, she knows his close friends, she knows the ones who are distant, she will advise him, kind of
she
thing.
knows when the atmosphere changes, when the lifestyle
100%.
changes.
So when she sees a change in his behavior, she realizes what's happened here. And I think that's the problem with the parents in this day and age.
Yeah.
We can't.
But they need to get to know, and not just knowing, but understanding their children.
That's it.
Yeah.
Times have changed from the days where you say don't go
because
here.
once they lose that space, they will hang around there, and guess who they find?
That's the thing. That's it.
At an early age, yeah.
So
but again, we want to go back to the emotions. Have you got any emotional
so I
vacuum?
think the
Have you had,
emotions-
or do you have
The emotions is losing friends.
losing friends?
Countless amount of my friends people have died. People who I used to hang with are no longer here. People who I used to hang with are in prison doing years that they haven't lived. People have died over £20, over £10 worth of product, and it's hard. You know,
£10, it doesn't even buy a big meal for
you
today.
know, £10 can't even buy you a phone.
No.
And people have died over this amount of money in my area. And it's like when you know them and you get that news, it's hard, but there came a point where even if one of my friends were here now, they could tell you we've now become numb to the news of death.